Season 22 is here. Ventures Season 22. How many people are maxing out their power level right now? This video is going to be covering all of the rewards, all of the notable rewards, some tips on getting started, the best ways to get Ventures XP, and some loadout recommendations, although there aren't too many given the current modifier. And I'm going to spend a significant section of this video hyping up the season because some awesome stuff comes around. Now, the Ventures rewards themselves have not changed since Season 17. In fact, Cavson runs Fortnite DB, and he actually makes this page just a little early and sends it over to me so I can make this video in advance. Thank you so much. If you're watching this video the minute the season starts, it's because of him that's even possible. And I think things were made a little bit easier for him when I told him that you can just change the URL from like 17 to 22 because they haven't changed since Season 4. I always like to say this nice and early because I don't want to scam you guys. I don't want to trick you into rewatching a video that you've seen before. If you have seen the Ventures Awards before, you don't need this. But I'm going to keep talking anyway, and some of you might just come along with that on that ride with me. So there are also some notable rewards at the end here. This extends your journey. A lot of people seem to think we only get one core perk per season. That is true from the Ventures rewards right up here, but there are also quests that you should be doing during your journey that will add another bunch of core perks and the superchargers along with it. And these quests do change on a season by season basis. So every single Venture season has the same set of base rewards, but they do shift around which quests are available at the end. So this is worth noting. And one of the early game tips I give in every one of these videos is to not start with a fight the storm mission and don't start with a retrieve the data mission because they are some of your first things to do. What it wants you to start with is a mission. I recommend resupply, build a radar grid, or encampments. Encampments is a little bit more combat, a little bit less farming, but you'll get some really good crafting resources for traps and whatever. And my how to get every item video, I finally updated that after 5 years. Talks heavily about encampments because it's such a great resource. You can get wood, brick, metal, all the crafting supplies pretty much. It's really good. You can get a trap encampment and then just recycle that down to craft your own traps because crafting your own traps is pretty much the only thing you can reliably craft in Ventures. No weapons, no melees, whatever. But yeah, anyway, so that's what I recommend. Start in a mission that you feel comfortable farming in, getting started, then do Fight the Storm, then do Retrieve the Data, and that'll get you started. Ventures will be completed at least level 50 at 2.3 million XP. That takes about 30 to 50 hours depending on you and your team and what you're doing. That might sound like a jaw-dropping amount of time, but let me go back to that timeline. You have a lot of weeks. If you do an hour a day, if you just do your Battle Pass XP worth of Save the World playtime and then stop Ventures for the day, and you make that your daily or every other day routine, you should finish Ventures very easily. Like an hour every other day should complete the season pretty comfortably, especially, and you should be, especially if you're doing these quests at the bottom. They give you so much extra XP. Just do the things it tells you to do, play the missions it tells you to, even if it's build a radar tower. Maybe you can farm, you know, use the weapons it wants you to, kill the enemies they want you to. Lots of extra XP down there, and of course the rewards at the end should not be understated. So that's my general advice. You know, don't start with Fight the Storm, don't start with Retrieve the Data because those quests will immediately have you doing that. Then the levels to unlock are also important. So I'm going to be zooming in because I'm on 1440p nowadays. Ventures level 10 is when you unlock the 23 zones. That's notable in the beginning. If you want to minimize your Ventures grinding, and I don't blame you, I recommend doing all of the Ventures level 15 missions immediately and then stopping. That's it. You don't need to grind day one. A lot of people like to do Ventures marathons. I value my mental health, so I recommend doing all of the Ventures level 15 missions, which are the highest they let you start with legitimately. And then the next day, after the missions reset, then you can do the 15s again, and you should be about at level 10 at that point. And then once you're doing Ventures level 23 zones, you should be able to hit Ventures level 11 pretty quickly, and then 34, 46, it goes on from there. Once you are Ventures level 43, that is when you can see 140 zones for the first time. This page, if it wasn't obvious, is obviously going to be linked down below. That is where you can check this out more specifically if you have any more questions about the site. So there's that. Now, the notable rewards are as follows. I am going to have links below on everything I'm about to mention. I don't want to plug it 40 times, so in the description for vouchers, flux, superchargers of all kinds, core perk, whatever resource you are getting that you want questions or you have questions on, links down below. So if you want to minimize your ventures grinding, and I don't blame you, you get the weapon voucher at level 13. This is the one and only you get per season. That'll allow you to pick up a weapon out of season. The number one recommendation in the video down there is the discharger, but that comes out later on. So if you want to save 2 months, I don't blame you, but I would scroll up from here and find a weapon that doesn't come back soon. That would be a good voucher for that, but that's your one weapon voucher. You also get 200 legendary flux, 100 at level 16, and then the other 100 at level 22. In my opinion, legendary flux is actually better than vouchers nowadays. They shifted it a long time ago so that some weapons that were voucherable were flux, and some flux came to voucher, I think. I don't know how many went backwards, but pretty much a lot of the best weapons in the game are fluxible now, and the best heroes in the game are fluxible. And you can use your flux for heroes or weapons, which means you're not locked with weapon vouchers, and you're not locked with hero vouchers. It's kind of nice. But you'll also get a hero voucher at level 20 and a core reperk, just the one that you get outside of quests. Now, if you stop at Ventures level 22, once you've picked up 200 flux, a weapon voucher, and a hero voucher, stopping there, I don't blame you. Everybody enjoys what they enjoy, and if you want to not go past that, I don't blame you. If you're only looking at getting your power level maxed, you should stop at 46. This is a ridiculous amount of grinding down here. Look at these numbers. Doing 500,000 Ventures XP for 3 superchargers and some legendary perk up. Granted, you are probably not done with all of your quests at this point, so cleaning those up will be what's happening in these later stages, but Ventures is a grind. Nobody ever said otherwise. Now, in the repeatable rewards section, I do think it's worth it to go to Ventures level 51. Getting 1200 reperk is tight, and then the other rewards are less exciting. Gold is good, Epic's good, but 1200 reperk is at Ventures level 57, and then 67, 77. It just repeats forever after that. So whether or not you're going to do that is completely up to you, but now that we've talked about the overarching rewards, that's it, by the way. That's just the quick overview. Let's talk about how awesome this season is, because I really want to get into that. I should say, before we dive into a different topic, that if you're looking for great loadouts, this video, I know it says Season 17. I told you the game hasn't changed that much. I'll link it down below. It'll give you a jumping off point. Hexsylvania loadouts for this season are tricky because it's the short range modifier. I think it's a 2-tile range that you have before it starts decreasing your damage output. And basically any enemy that's not within 2 tiles of a defender or a player is just going to take reduced damage. And that is, how do you work with that? I mean, you use shotguns, okay, and then melees, okay, and then short range abilities, okay, and that's it. It doesn't really change the way you play the game. Now, one of my favorite Ventures loadouts is my Cloak Shadow build. I don't want to lose this tab because I'm going to link it down below, but actually I already recorded this entire video like 2.5 times, so I don't know why I'm pretending like I don't have the description already typed out. But one of my favorite Ventures loadouts is the Cloak Shadow build, which is linked down below, and this build is awesome. It works in any Venture season. You have to be close range anyway. I'm going to be using this a lot, and I don't expect to make a bunch of Ventures loadouts for this season because there's not much to talk about. Now, I'm re-recording this because I really wanted to put some emphasis on how awesome this season is, and we're doing that now. Clip comes out nice and early. She's one of the best farming heroes in the entire game. I recommend Fossil Southie in the lead, but she should be in support or the lead. Wherever you are using an anti-material charge based farming build, she should be involved. That video will be linked down below, the ones that's hovering on screen. She's really, really good. And seeing as we just had an entire season of dinos and Southie, she is going to be well prepared to be fully activated. Jack-a-Launcher, awesome weapon. Then we got the Dire questline, Raven, Willow, Brainstorm. Even if you aren't interested in those rewards, Raven's pretty awesome, but the other ones are pretty mediocre. The quests are still good. You're getting gold, you're getting potential voice lines. I don't know if any of these are voiced actually, but I did unmute my stuff for the Outlandish Oddities quest. That's the first voiced quest line we had in a while, and with it brought a couple of awesome new heroes. And I thought it was fun. Honestly, the Save the World experience is best when you've got those voice lines going, and there's a lot of that available this season. I don't know if all these are voiced. Maybe I'm talking on my ass and none of these are voiced, but it's still something to do in game. That's the point I'm trying to make. Dungeons is awesome. Chaos Agent is awesome. Reloading quickly with him is great. He's an S tier hero. Dungeons is super fun, and that's available all season long. Plus, towards the end, we get Cram Session. That's not a clickbait thumbnail, by the way. You will be able to get over 10,000 gold in 2 hours, which is amazing, because the quest line itself gives you 9,000 gold, but to run the mission 10 times to actually finish those quests, you should round up 10,000 gold. That is a lot. That is a lot for 2 hours time. That is the most gold you can get in such a short time. It's amazing. And then the items available are great. Dirge Song is fantastic. It is named as the primary weapon in the new strongest build in the game. That's my opinion, of course, but it's a well-informed opinion. And the old build was the Blackout AR in the lead using Chaos Agent to reload with Phase Shift, but they nerfed Fallen Leverage Jonesy, so you can't get as much energy anymore. I really think Dirge Song's on top now. Doesn't need Chaos Agent because of that 1 second reload. Still, very strong weapon comes out. Gravedigger is objectively the best looking weapon in the game. All other opinions are invalid, of course. And the Spectral Blade, fantastic melee. I have mine supercharged to 144 because it's awesome. And then right below it is the Discharger itself. We already talked about that. I hate calling it the strongest weapon in the game because I don't think any weapon is just purely the best. But if you're talking about Smasher and Taker, curiously, and Storm King end phase damage per second, the Discharger's on top in those situations. It is an extremely strong weapon for extremely strong enemies, and that's coming out towards the end. So, yeah. I recorded this video like 3 times because initially I just made a normal video, but I didn't get that great of sleep last night and it really showed, and I'm pushing through that right now. But then I did do a positive note at the end that you just heard. I did that, but I didn't start with that. I spent too much time dwelling on how kind of lame the loadouts are for this season and how last season's Ventures video was longer than this one because I had more to say, and Blasted Badlands is just kind of a more fun season. But then I wanted to put more emphasis on the timeline, and then I did a recording where I spent 3 minutes not talking about the rewards at all, and I kind of lost the plot there. So anyway, hopefully this was the better of the versions. I'm sticking to this one. It's going on the channel. If you guys found any of this information useful, or if I was able to entertain you on half a night's sleep, then hey, subscribe, like the video. I make a lot of videos on Save the World, and while Hexsylvania might not provide me with a ton of content to cover, it's still a really fun season. I love the Halloween aesthetic. I love the map itself. I love dungeons. It doesn't inspire me to record as much, but the streams are good. So maybe, follow a Twitch link down below. All right, I'm out of here. Plugin's done. Enjoy the new season, everybody. I'm gonna go play Witcher 3 because the season's not out for me. I'm just doing that right now.